All right, everyone, we have our humorous story for the day, which is that somebody, link in the description, archived, of course, attempted to swat the head of the FBI. Yes, indeed. Kash Patel revealing the other day on Joe Rogan, actually, that back on last Tuesday, somebody attempted to swat his home. Now, swatting has become less effective over time, and I don't support it, although this is hysterical given the person they were trying to swat, and I don't think they're sure who did it yet. I'm sure there will be a very thorough investigation, and I'm sure it was probably politically motivated. Just saying. And I'm not even a huge fan of Kash Patel, but again, I just don't agree with swatting. I've been swatted 3 times actually at my home. First time, cops showed up, swept the home briefly, said, clearly there's no dead body lying around or anything like that, and left. Second time, they showed up, but they just sort of talked to my mom briefly, and then they just left. And that was hysterical. By the third time, though, they didn't even show up. All they do is make a phone call. If they have any reason to believe that it's a swatting attempt, generally they'll just call the residents. Hey, did somebody actually just get blasted? No? Huh, okay. Bye. That's basically what they did. So I'm sure that as far as the local and state police go, my home is already listed as a place where there might be swatting going on, so I don't worry about it anymore. First time it was mildly concerning. I was actually out for a hike with my niece and my sister. And when we came back, my mom came to the edge of the lawn. She's like, "It happened again." And I'm like, "What happened again?" "Oh, the police were here. Someone said that you killed the whole family or something like that." Apparently, somebody was being paid to make these calls, by the way, because it happened 3 days in a row. I have a feeling it's that kid from California that was probably contacted by Redditors who don't like me for my political views or something like that. Just know that obviously he failed completely. The idea of swatting normally is to inconvenience someone. And I actually feel sorry for the kid that was, basically getting paid to swat people because he probably didn't realize he obviously knew he was breaking the law, but the repercussions can go further than that. And this is why swatting is such a bad thing because you can get somebody killed. I mean, what happens if the SWAT team takes the call seriously, breaks into a home, and somebody who's, a little bit trigger itchy, they have itchy trigger fingers and they start blasting thinking that someone is breaking in. Well, then again, you can get a cop killed, you can get them killed, you can have all sorts of problems. What if a child gets injured or something in the crossfire? That could be a problem too. I mean, if you're swatting, you could end up with murder charges. Those stack, by the way, so, enjoy the rest of your life in prison. But I do find this particular story at least amusing. You tried to swat the leader of the FBI. I don't know what was in the text of the call. I'm assuming that it's probably the same scripted jargon that they used multiple times at my residence. Apparently, on the third attempt, they said that I'd killed my family with an AK-47. Well, when they talked to my mom on the phone, quite clearly, that was not the case. And I know that I was the target, because they were referencing me explicitly. It's basically, yeah, Sticks went ballistic and he just started shooting. He killed everyone. His body's everywhere and stuff like that. And most of the time, you'll find that people who engage in swatting are not particularly rhetorically talented. Apparently, this was an individual who had what the police described to me as possibly an Asian accent, by the way. And it was funny, some people were saying Ian Miles Cheong actually was responsible. I don't think that he was. We don't seem to have a problem with each other. So yeah, somebody tried to swat Kash Patel. That's a bad idea. You just attempted to swat someone with unlimited investigative capabilities. And by the way, I'm not a fan of the FBI even existing, but still, come on, dude. You gotta calm down at somebody. It's sort of like doxing. Somebody simply is existing. You happen to disagree with them. That's not a reason to air out their dirty laundry to the entire world now, is it? I don't do that sort of shit. I've got plenty of people that have told me personal things about themselves, addresses, phone numbers, etc., over the years, who now don't in many cases like me. Or, well, in some cases anyway. Most of them we're still on reasonable terms, or it's sort of neutrality. There are people that I could really throw under the bus. I could dox them. Have I done this? No. Would I do this? Absolutely not. You'd have to go way above and beyond before I would retaliate to that level. You have to be doing something that is absolute trash. And not just to me. I can fend for myself. You'd have to do it to somebody that I cared about or something like that. Like, have somebody attempt to abduct my daughter or something along those lines. Well, then your life will be ruined. But other than that, you can relax. People have sent me nudes all of the time for 100 years, basically. Um, None of those have ever been posted online now, have they? Even though some of these people have a fucking problem with me. And it's not because I'm afraid of revenge porn laws. There are ways around that. It's because I believe it's unethical. Kash Patel, meanwhile, while I don't support the FBI, and he and Bongino have not done nearly as good a job as I had hoped that they would do. Let's put it that way. We've got a weird situation with the administration where people who I thought would do generally well are underperforming in some cases, and in those two particular cases generally. And people that I thought would be like Mammo, like Marco Rubio, are actually doing a much better job than I predicted that they would do. I'm favorably pleased with little Marco, actually. I think he's a good Secretary of State. He's sort of on the sidelines, except with diplomacy, but he's a goddamn workhorse. So, yeah, yeah, again, at least a B plus for Secretary of State. Good job, my man. Um, yes, definitely read the link in the description. You can go to the video clip there as well. You can see, Patel on, the Rogan itself. I think he's still only on Spotify, but people put the clips everywhere anyway. And Rogan doesn't seem to care about this very much, which is good. It's to his credit. Uh, you might not be a fan of Patel. I know that I'm not, but I still condemn swatting in general. Like, I would never do that to somebody simply because they're a vapid leftoid. If I don't like their material, I simply won't watch it. Or maybe I'll debate them. Or something like that. I don't need to swat them, because that's ridiculous, actually. Swatting the head of the FBI is an order of magnitude more derpy than swatting like some rando that you don't like on the internet. Because that rando on the internet may not have the time or reason to try to prosecute you, and certainly doesn't run the fucking FBI. You are retarded. That's about all. Peace out.